All right, we're now going to talk about setting up a saved search for a client. So this is a little bit more advanced. So if you're first looking at stuff, I would watch the video on just performing a search. Now we're going to do about setting up a saved search for a client that way it gets auto sent to them as soon as something new hits the market. So again, I have my searches automatically saved, but I'm not going to go through that. So I'm going to go search and go to residential. We're going to make this one a little bit easier. That way it's a quicker video. So say like your client is pretty specific with what they want, and they know for a fact they want to be in a certain subdivision. And I'm trying to think of a subdivision that I know going to have a lot of stuff on it, but I guess it doesn't really matter the number of things. So we will use for this video my subdivision, which is Ascot Park in Pecoly Ranch. So here's your search thing. Remember this from the first video. I'm not going to explain everything. They don't care. They don't care what the size is. They just want to be in Pecoly Ranch, period. So we're going to go to just active, Ascot Park in Pecoly Ranch. We're going to active. Down in subdivision right here, it says you can type it in. So I'm going to type in Ascot Park. You'll see there's only 2 matches right now. So as long as there's some kind of results, it's going to be easy for us to save. So we'll click the results button. Here are the 2 houses that are active. Again, they both happen to be the same square footage, but they don't care. They don't care if it's a 1,500 square foot or a 3,000 square foot, whatever. They want Ascot Park. So normally in the last video I did, kind of the beginner video, I said, okay, you can choose to kind of just email something. Now, if you do that, it's just a one-time email. That's all it is. So once you know what your client wants, this is kind of moving through the process. You want to get them on a custom search. So what we will do here, you don't need to have anything checked. You can go to down to where the bottom where it says save, and then you go to new auto email. It'll bring up options, so you can you can choose one of your clients that you have, or you can create a new contact. So we'll create a new contact here, and we'll call this Testy McTesterson. And their email address is may@zahlerproperties.com. And you can add their phone number in there. You can add their cell if you want. You can even show how you want the salutation. So it defaults to kind of the most formal, but you can even have it just say, "Hi, Testy." So just do that. Hit save. So now there's a new contact set up in my contact list. I got to remember to take off Testy McTesterson. But say like there are 2 names or 2 email addresses they wanted, maybe a husband and wife or spouse or whatever, or, brother. You can always have it sent to a second person as well. You can do that there. You can also have it checked off whether you want it BCC'd you or not. I tend to have all mine BCC'd. Now, they all go into an automatic folder themselves where I've got about 8,000 of them. Do I really look at them? No. But it gives me an idea just by the number of emails I get on a daily basis how many searches are actually being done, which is a good thing. So up to you. I have mine, but it's not a requirement. So subject line, this could be the subject. It's going to be the subject for whatever you want. So specify it. That way they know what it is. So I can say custom search for Testy in Ascot Park, right? Something like that. That way they know what it is. The system automatically has terminology, or basically just templated emails. So this is what the first email is going to look like. Hey, welcome to the portal. Blah 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 blah. On recurring emails, it's just going to be, hey, here's 1 or more updated listings to your criteria. Now you can change those. I have never changed them. There's no real reason for me to change them. I used to change wording on it every once in a while if I wanted to add more information about myself or something. But realistically, by the time they're getting this, they should know who you are, and you're working with them. So I keep it the same. You should make sure your signature line is updated, and then you can do that up in your settings. There's your criteria, whether you want it on concierge mode or not. So concierge mode is you have to review every single property first and then accept it. The reason I use concierge when I do is if a client's really specific, like they say, Jeff, we want something that is super modern or super updated, blah, 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 blah. That's kind of hard to specifically state in a search. So I'll get their general ideas and then I'll kind of pick and choose from them. I got a client right now that says, hey, we want nothing in an HOA, so it doesn't really matter where it is because we're tired of HOAs, but we want a really nice backyard and an updated kitchen. So that, again, that's going to be hard to search for. So I've kind of got a search set up for them that I'll look through this stuff and only send things that I feel like they would want to see. Most of the time, I do not have concierge enabled because it doesn't make sense. Here's where you want to set them the time of when they send stuff. So by default, it sets for every day they'll get an email once. You basically only get one email a day in the mornings. You can have it in the mornings. You can have it in the afternoons. You can have it in both. You can say, I only want to send them stuff on Saturday mornings and Tuesday afternoons or whatever. The one I do is I do this really if somebody's kind of just looking a little bit, they're not too serious yet, or maybe they're like, hey, I get so much email, don't bog me down. But most of the time I do ASAP. Anything hits the system right away, boom, they're going to get an email right away. That's usually for our type A, our hot buyers that are ready to go. That way as soon as something hits the market, they get an email, you get an email, and you can kind of jump on it. So that's how you do a custom search. You would then hit save. Obviously, I'm not going to save anything because I don't want to set myself yet another custom search that doesn't make any sense. And then so you would hit save, and boom, there's your custom search. It's set up, and anything in there is done. Now, you can always edit a custom search, okay? So what I'll do now is I'm just going to go to a custom search and show you how to edit it. So let me just go pick a contact real quick. Somebody who's got a search going on. Somebody who's been in their profile lately. So here we go. We'll use this one. You go to auto emails. Here's their automatic search. So there's a criteria right there. Say like you want to change the settings. You know, say like rather than getting it ASAP, they only want it daily or whatever. You could do that there. But say like they also want, if they want to change the criteria. So right now this one says 405 or less. So, sometimes we see something and they say, Jeff or whoever, hey, we see what's going on there. Let's bump up our budget, right? So at that point, what you would do is go to criteria and you would change it to whatever. So the 405, maybe we say, okay, let's go up to 450 and less. So as you see, it only went from 13 down to 15 now. Let's go back to 405. So it's 13, 450 would be 15. So not a lot different, but you never know. You get it set up. Then you would hit save, and again, it would update, and they would get an email that would say, okay, here's what's going on. I've updated. So that's how you would alter your search. You can also alter it any other way you wanted to, but we're just talking about price. So there's your custom searches on our MLS.